mind, I know that one day will be mine. Hardships and sufferings will come no more. Problems will one day get up me, yes I know. And I'm sure, truly sure, that my star will shine one day. I'll keep on trying, I'll keep on trying, I'll keep on trying till my star will shine. I'll keep on trying, I'll keep on trying, I'll keep on trying till my star will shine. Yeah, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, my shining star. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, my shining star. I'll keep on trying, I'll keep on trying, I'll keep on trying till my star will shine. I'll keep on trying, I'll keep on trying, I'll keep on trying till my star will shine. I've passed through many obstacles and I've seen many sufferings. Every day I pray that one day my star will shine. My faith is so strong and healthy that one day will be mine. I'll keep on trying, I'll keep on trying, I'll keep on trying till my star will shine. I'll keep on trying, I'll keep on trying, I'll keep on trying till my star will shine. Yes, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, my shining star. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, my shining star.
Okay. Ba-da-da-dum.
In my mind, I know that one day will be mine. Hardships and sufferings will come no more. Problems will one day get off me, yes I know. And I'm sure, truly sure, that my star will shine one day. I'll keep on trying, I'll keep on trying,
I'll keep on trying till my star will shine.
I'll keep on trying,
I'll keep on trying
I'll keep on trying
till my star will shine. Hey,
come on, come on,
come on, come on, come on, come on, my shining star.
come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, my shining star. Come on, come on,
Come on, come on, come on, come on, my shining star.
come on, come on,
Come on, come on, come on, come on, my shining star.
I'll keep on trying, I'll keep on trying,
I'll keep on trying till my star will shine.
I'll keep on trying, I'll keep on trying, I'll keep on trying till my star will shine. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, my shining star. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, my shining star.
to everybody.
I've passed through
Many obstacles, and I've seen many sufferings.
every day.
I pray that one day my sun will shine.
And my faith
It's so strong that one day will be mine.
I'll keep on trying.
I'll keep on trying
I'll keep on trying.
till my star will shine.
I'll keep on trying. I'll keep on trying.
I'll keep on trying till my star will shine. Come on, come on,
Come on, come on.
come on, come on, my shining star.
Come on, come on.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, my shining star.
Come on, come on. Come on, come on.
Come on, come on, my shining star.
Shining star. Shining star.
Come on now. Oh, Liberia.
Oh, shining star.
One day your star will shine.
Shining star.
Yes, Liberia. Yes, I know. For sure one day, Liberia.
I'm sure
Surely sure.
my star.
We shall one day.
Come on.
Come on. Come on. My shining star. Oh yes.
Shining star.
Liberia. Liberia.
My shining star.
Liberia, where's your star?
Shining star.
God, where is the star? One day. One day.
Shining star.
Hmm.
Shining star. I need you now.
Yes. Come on, come on.
Shining star. Come on now. Oh, shining star. Shining star. Come on now.
Come on, come on.
Come on, come on.
Come on, come on, my shining star. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Liberia,
Come on, my shining
one day your star will shine.
shining star.
Okay. All right. Good evening and welcome to Let's Chat with me, Darius Dillon. Let's chat with me, Darius Dillon. Wherever you are, welcome. Today is day 8 of the hearing into the impeachment attempt against Kabineh Ja'neh, sitting as Associate Justice. Today was an interesting day again. But before we go to the impeachment hearing, before we bring you the update, let's rumble around some of the threatening issues I've been running around today and in the country of interest. Charles Salif was released today from prison on compassionate consideration. Compassionate consideration under the law is when it's more humanitarian, more like health reason. When somebody is in jail on trial and the person is sick and the medical facility at the prison compound is not sufficient, equipped enough to cater to the person's health, on compassionate grounds, the person can be released temporarily. They can be in hospital but be in prison. They can be at home but they are in prison there. They are only out of the prison compound because the medical facility at the prison compound is not equipped enough to cater to the person's medical needs. But being at home or being in the hospital. If you are in jail and you should file bail bond for a bailable offense, but you have not filed a bail bond and you got sick, and the medical facility at the prison compound is not equipped enough to cater to your medical issues, they will give you that compassionate leave from the prison compound. It does not mean that you are not in prison. You are in prison wherever you are. That is why police people or prison officers will be wherever you are, either at the hospital or at home, where the medical people can cater to you properly. Because no matter what, the human life matters most. It is the living body that you want to prosecute for the crime, not the dead body. So the first thing you seek is the well-being and the welfare of the human being. The accused person or even a convicted criminal can be granted compassionate leave for the same reason, where the health facility is not equipped enough to cater to the person's medical issues. Even a convicted criminal can be granted compassionate leave from the prison compound or the prison facility to a medical facility. So Charles Sirleaf was released today under that condition. There can be theory here and there, whether he's sick, whether he's faking it, for whatever reason, but under the law, compassionate leave is granted, is allowed, once it can be demonstrated and can be proven. In the case of, if you are making compassionate leave a ground for your temporary relief or release from the prison, you should come with medical. There should be some medical examination to prove that you are sick and that your sickness is grave to the point where the medical facility at the prison compound cannot cater to your medical issue, and that you have to be transferred either at home where you can be catered to medically or in a hospital. While you are there, you are still a prisoner under the watch of the Ministry of Justice through the Corrections Bureau. At least I know this for a fact because I was special assistant to the Solicitor General of Liberia for over 10 years. And we dealt with these issues on multiple occasions. So I know that to my fingertip. Charles Sirleaf is released under that condition. Milton Weeks and the other folks are still in jail. The charges placed upon them are bailable offense. And when they find the bill, when they can find the bail bond, and the validity of the bail bond, the sufficiency of the amount charged or fixed as the bail bond, when they file a bail bond, they will be outside. And they will go about their normal business until the court calls them. One of the prime reasons for bail bond is to ensure that the person can appear whenever the court needs them. And once the person is not a flight risk, once the person is not a risk of to society being outside, they can grant you bail bond. And that's what the law says. So no matter the crime, once the crime is bailable, when they charge you, send you to prison, you file your bail bond in keeping with law, you will be outside. That's what the law says, rich or poor. So Charles Sirleaf is outside. The other folks are in there. President Weah, George Weah, has instructed the GAC to do further forensic audit on the expenditure of the 25 million US dollars that is attached to all of this missing money and mopping up exercises and all of this stuff. I think President Weah is playing fun. He's joking. I think he's buying time, because you conduct audit. Most times, criminal investigation and criminal prosecution is the result of audit conducted. When you already finished doing criminal investigation already, and the investigation says, for some reason, we need to go a further step beyond the forensic thing, then you don't go do audit again. I don't know what president we are on with this money business. I'm sure he hasn't understood the magnitude of this issue, how it has impact negatively on the economy of our country. I think he's saving Samuel 12, by extension saving himself, because from the investigative report, the criminal forensic professional investigative report done both by CRO, the international body that was contracted through the U.S. Embassy, and the presidential investigation constituted by the president himself, those two reports are damning, very damning, and totally unacceptable. They exposed a lot of things. First thing, when the central bank issues a second statement in the last 2 days, want to claim responsibility so as to brush Samuel 12 off in keeping with the president's instruction and the president's desire, they only expose themselves. Go back and read the central bank release in the last 2 days. Every paragraph there, they say honor the authority of the technical economic management team. The central bank did XYZ. Honor the technical economic management team. The central bank did XYZ. Who headed the technical economic management team? Samuel 12. When something goes wrong, who takes responsibility? Where is the superior responsibility theory in this case? Is it because Samuel 12 and George Weah are linked somehow or being suspected, or it can be clearly seen that something went wrong, and so they're finding every means to get Samuel 12 hands clean? His hands are not clean. The report say it clear. First thing, they need to be charged with obstruction of justice because they did not cooperate with the investigation. They did not give documents to the investigation. They concealed information. Now, obstruction of justice. The investigation talked about the manner and form that they operated with the $25 million. It can constitute money laundering and all kinds of things. And then he said they must go audit. That's just, for me, not BS. It's just another form of attempting to cover up the bad deals of these people. But for them to think they're buying time or they will go free, they must be joking. They must be joking. That money business will be accounted for. People who were linked or who are linked to this money issue, whether $16 billion or whether $25 million, they will have to be brought to book. I don't care how long. They will be brought to book. We're not talking about $1 that belonged to somebody's private home and they cheated their family out of it. This is public money. This is some of the reason why our economy is in the toilet. Nobody knows what's going on. And then when investigation comes, for us to start to punish people, we want to keep certain group of people as secret cow and grab another group of people for political stunt and showcasing. No, that is totally unacceptable. That is totally unacceptable. So much for the money business and Charles Salif released from prison, temporary release from prison. He's still under the custody of the Montreal Central Prison. He's only out there on compassionate leave on medical grounds. And as soon as his condition can improve, he's back in jail until he files the appropriate, valid, sufficient bail bond in keeping with law. Back so to our main topic, the impeachment. Today was day 8. On the stand today was prosecution, I want to put it that way, the House of Representatives' second witness, after they dealt sufficiently with Akaras Gray yesterday. In the last 2 days, people started to see the true Akaras Gray when he's challenged. When you're one sitting down among citizens, or you're one on radio where you can control, or you're one behind your keypad on Facebook, you can talk anywhere, you can do any, you can rationalize anyway. But they brought him before the public. to ask him questions of the same things that his mouth been running on. They asked him those very pointed questions on the allegations contained in the bill of impeachment against Kabineh Ja'neh that they themselves drew up. They themselves heralded for weeks, for months on radio, making Kabineh Ja'neh to look like a devil that he's not. Let me make it clear. Kabineh Ja'neh, like some other people, especially in government and other government, they took part in our Liberian war. They have their role in our Liberian civil conflict. If we want to punish them for the role they played in the Liberian civil conflict, let's establish the War Crime Court. I will be the first person calling for Kabineh Ja'neh and all of those linked to the war or those who bear greater responsibility to appear before the War Crime Court. Let's establish the War Crime Court. But when it comes to impeaching Kabineh Ja'neh as an associate justice on the counts that are contained in the bill of impeachment, then you have Darius Dillon to contend with. And my defense for Kabineh Ja'neh is not because he's Kabineh Ja'neh, because the whole process is messy, it's political, then the issues, it's witch hunting, it's stupid, it makes no legal merits and no sense. The only thing they want to get out of this thing is to injure and kill the independence of the judiciary on account of wanting to control all the branches of government so that they serve at the pleasure of the president, who wants everything at his home in Jamaica, including the judiciary. The counts brought against Kabineh Ja'neh, none is an impeachable offense. None. We've said this thing for months, since July last year. We've been giving an overview, we've been giving detailed information, but Akaras and seditious made this tiny middle, and some of the big ones who are sycophantic book-licking seditious, either to believe or agree to believe those trumped up on and with no legal merit cases against Kabineh Ja'neh. One, they say Kabineh Ja'neh is the cause Austin Clark died because he stepped on the main case at the Supreme Court. Two, Kabineh Ja'neh bought land from 4-year-old child and he deprived 90-year-old woman from her property. He used his power. Three, they say Kabineh Ja'neh stole record, stole document from the House of Representatives to form part of his petition before the court to prohibit the House of Representatives from wrongly proceeding in this impeachment trial. Four, they say Kabineh Ja'neh step on the road fund tax and business people were not paying, and they want impeachment because they believe that the way he issued prohibition, it means if the business people had won the case, they were going to give Kabineh Ja'neh something. In their mind, their imagination that Kabineh Ja'neh will get something from the business people, so they say they can be impeached. And now while Mr. Cleaning the mess, Akaras Gray was running around with throughout for the last few months. We kept on saying this thing was witch hunt. It was politically driven. In fact, I call it a bluff. I call it a bluff because on the merits of the issues, Akaras cannot withstand a second. You see, truth. The thing they call truth. The thing they call truth, I don't care how you bury it, it will rise. And lies, hard to defend. You can have the best intellectual brain. You can have all of the academic degrees in the world. You can have all the good wisdom. If you choose to defend lie or to lie and then to defend it, it can make you look like you are ignorant. It makes you look like a fool. It makes you look like you have never even opened a book before to read. To defend lie is difficult and it's shameful. It brings you to your knees. It makes you crawl on your belly out of shame. And that's what been happening in the last few days. Yesterday, Akara's grave could not remember his arithmetic. This Akara's grave said to you and to the world that Kabineh Ja'neh was so foolish to buy land from a 4-year-old child. To buy land from a 4-year-old child. Akara's grave says the document in their possession on account 1 was that the person Kabineh Ja'neh bought the land from was born 1956. And Kabineh Ja'neh bought the land from that same person in 1996. So they asked Akaras to do his math. 1956, somebody was born. That person sold property in 1996. How old was that person? He forgot his math. But Akara didn't know the person was 40 years old in 1996. But because of their callous nature, because of the trumped up charges they brought against Kabineh Ja'neh, they removed the 0 from in front of the 4. It made unsuspecting and bootlicking, unsuspecting seditionists, meaning they don't even know nothing, they just follow their leaders. The ones that know, they suspend their consciences and their knowledge, their intellect, they suspend it for sycophantic bootlicking. And they agree with that foolishness that Kabineh Ja'neh, who by 1996 was already a lawyer, will go buy land, property from a 4-year-old child. So they asked Akaras, how old was this gentleman who you agree and know now by the record in your hand was born 1956? When did he sell this property to Kabineh Ja'neh? He said, hey, okay, so you understand it. The property was sold 1996. Do you agree? He said, fine. They said, okay, from 1956 to 1996, how many years? He said, if your math said 40, then maybe you're correct. Everything about Akara's grave got messed up yesterday. So he was reduced to the real true Akaras that he is. Today, what was most interesting, if not embarrassing, let me say something here that may sound disrespectful and arrogant. The councillor today, who was the second witness for the House of Representatives, Councillor Wessel, Kenny Wessel. Kenny Wessel and myself worked for 6 years together at TC Good Law Firm, Councillor Good Law Firm. The man who, by the grace of God, the intervention of God, got me where I am today. TC Good. We worked together. We were workmates. Though, yes, he was a lawyer, but I was a staff. We went together at Camp and Associate, while at the same time I was at Justice Ministry. Kenny and myself, we are friends. Councillor Wilford Saye and all the other lawyers, Councillor Otelo Pema, all the other guys, we are all friends. We all share common interests at Camp and Associate because of TC Good, who was the godfather. And you know, I keep saying TC Good, even though people know he's dead. I don't call TC Good dead or late, because once I'm living, TC Good is not dead. What he did for me by the grace of God, the intervention of God, to make me what I am today. Once I'm living, he's not dead. That is why it's good to groom people. Groom people. Groom leaders. Groom people so they can walk in your shoes or walk even greater than you. TC Good was not the kind of politician, but he was a leader. So he built people. A lot of young people in this country, in the legal fields and other places, have some sense of gratitude for TC Good. And if there are 2 or 3, I am one. So he's not dead. He's alive. Once I'm alive. So much for that. But Kenny Wessel and I were together. I know Kenny Wessel to be a lawyer. Apart from being a lawmaker now on the CDC ticket, I think being on the CDC ticket clocked or suspended his lawyering intelligence. I think being a citizen and being on CDC ticket has suspended something about Kenny Wessel. If I had the authority, I was going to suspend his law degree today. He did not portray to be. He did not represent to be. He did not even, nothing about Kenny today was like he's a lawyer. So let's come to Kenny Wessel's testimony. And as we go through, I will also highlight on and to commend the senators. You see, the public is now becoming aware. The public's eye is now opening to the truism of this matter. These false claims, trumped up charges are placed on Kabineh Ja'neh's head, are being unraveled right before the eyes of the public. I'm sure some of the senators who had either had their thoughts about voting against Kabineh Ja'neh because of the way they sentimentalized this thing against the young man, against the man, they're starting to have second thoughts. Because when the presiding officer, the Chief Justice, agreed to allow questions from the jurors, the senators, I was shocked today in a long time. The senators sitting as jurors, when they were allowed to ask questions, those senators asked pointed, important, and very relevant questions to inform their decisions to vote. And I'm getting even more convinced that today, or since yesterday, including today, there are some senators who, for some reason, thought all these things about Kabineh were so true, they were so angry sentimentally, and they were just waiting to vote against the man. I am sure from their own questionings today, their own questions today, I am sure second thoughts are coming to bear. I'm convinced. Because when people have mindset, their questions, you can even determine. Kenny Wessel, second witness today for the House of Representatives, a lawyer of the Supreme Court Bar, was asked some basic, direct questions from the things that they did and the charges that they brought against Kabineh Ja'neh. And Kenny Wessel, after that he never took law school entrance before. One, Mr. Witness, friend, do you agree with Akaros Gray that this man that the accused respondent purchased land from a 4-year-old child? He said, no, me and Akaros Gray different. And I Akaros Gray told him, I want on my own. Okay, fine, you're right. But you and Akaros Gray voted for the same thing, your own paper. You voted for the same thing. That this man bought land for a 4-year-old child. So, on the record, time for you to talk now. You say, no, the thing with Akaros Gray told yesterday, you own your own. Okay, come tell you own. How old was this man? He said, that the thing I'm here for, the thing I'm here for is that the record, the thing will say, the man who sold the land to Kabineh Ja'neh in 1996, he obtained letters of administration in 1960, the time he was 4 years old, that the thing making off here. Kenny Wessel says he vexed because in his imagination, Constant Newman Jr. obtained letters of administration from the probate court the time he was 4 years old. A lawyer take the stand to say that rubbish and that embarrassing rubbish. Only because he wore CDC cap. Because I didn't see Kenny today as a lawyer. He was not a lawyer. I'm sure he went when he got his children there, he went there. I'm sure if they're courageous enough, they will tell him, say he embarrassed their family today. I mean, the politics of it, I can understand. But you, as a lawyer, people expect better of you. Okay, so So the man God let the child, the 4-year-old child went to the court, 1960. He was 4 years old. He went to the court. And the sitting judge in 1960, with the clerk who know the law, they look at the child and they gave him letters of administration to administer the property of his father. You can't get letters of administration to administer somebody's property when the person living. In 1960, when Constance Newman Jr. was 4 years old, Constance Newman Sr. was still alive. It is Constance Newman Sr. who went to the court in 1960 to legitimize his junior who was born out of wedlock. The petition or the certificate of legitimization is different. Mr. Kenny Wessel, you are a lawyer, sir. Legitimization is different from letters of administration. Letters of administration is either accompanied by or different from court decree or decree of sale. So let's go step by step. Constant Park legitimizing in 1960 when he was born 1956. So when he was 4 years old, his father went to the court and said, I bought my child out of wedlock. I got properties all around. I don't want when I die, then my child running all year. Even maybe if I will marry later, the father I marry his man, or I may not marry his man, I don't want him to suffer for it. So I want to legitimize him so that when anything happens to me, he can have entitlement to rights over my property or some of my property. The one that I would not give out while I'm alive, when I'm dead, he has right to some of the properties that will be available. So I legitimized my child. 1960. In 1996, after Constance Sr. died a few years earlier, before 1996, Constance Jr., on the strength of the legitimization, went to the same court, demonstrated that his father was dead, and that he wanted the court to grant him letters of administration to administer the affairs of his father's property. The court granted. The court also granted him decree of sale. It means you get authority to sell. You can sell the property if you wish to, because now you become the legal heir. You become the legal owner. Kabineh Ja'neh saw all of those documents and bought from the proper owner because the court recognized that person. Then you come in 2019. You say the math, the arithmetic from 1956 to 1996 is different. In CDC word, from 1956 to 1996 are 4. Move the 0 from there, and 40. And Kenny Wessel could not defend that. He said, why the man go by the land? In fact, he used power. So they asked him, in 1996, Kabineh Ja'neh was on the bench, the Supreme Court bench. Fine. 1996, Mr. Witness, Mr. Lawyer, and I like the way they were asking him the question and putting him on notice. They said, Mr. Witness, thank God you are a lawyer and a counselor of the Supreme Court bar. What these people kept on telling Kenny Wessel today was, my friend, your level of rationality, your intellect should be way up there. It should be of higher standing. The ethical value that you should bring to this trial should be far different from this political thing then that Akara's great and doing. That was, for me, that was the reason behind the reminder that you are a counselor of the Supreme Court bar. They say, okay, so you remember the age and the year, let's leave that one. 1996, Kabineh Ja'neh was in government with authority. He said, hey, 1996, Kabineh Ja'neh was working in Freeport. He was not a justice ministry. He was not in the judiciary. Nothing. So how did he use power to buy the land or deprive the people of the land? The land case, they lost it. They lost it already. They can't find a way through. Then it came to the Austin Clark case. They made the public and some of you, or all of you who are watching this podcast, to believe that Kabineh Ja'neh is so wicked enough that a Liberian went to court, won his case, and Kabineh Ja'neh went downstairs on his own and brought the case upstairs to him, unto himself, and deprived Austin Clark because it was Echo Bank versus Austin Clark. Kabineh Ja'neh walked downstairs. What I mean downstairs meaning you are an associate justice, you are upstairs. And you are there until cases are brought to you either on appeal or from some place on prohibition or something. They made the public to believe that Kabineh Ja'neh got up on her own, went downstairs in the lower court, and said, "You're bringing that Echo Bank case here. Let me come frustrate Austin Clark so he can die." That is the kind of way they sentimentalize this thing with lies against this man. Kabineh Ja'neh was justice in chambers, sitting down. Like we normally say, which is true, unless in very extreme cases, the court don't go low for cases. It is cases that come before the court. Kabineh Ja'neh was sitting in his chamber, presiding as justice in chamber, when Vani Shema, Councilor Vani Shema, who we understand helped to put that massive bill of impeachment together for the House of Representatives just because he happened to bootleg George Weah so they can bring the civil money case out on him. They put all that foolishness together in the name of bill of impeachment against Kabineh Ja'neh. But it was the same Vani Shema representing Echo Bank. When Austin Clark won his case against Echo Bank, Vani Shema, like everybody know him, he always representing BP clients and BP entities, even against the poor ordinary Liberian people. At that time, Vani Shema didn't see that Austin Clark was a poor ordinary Liberian man. Vani Shema was representing Echo Bank. He ran upstairs and took that matter and filed a writ of certiorari, like an appeal, or said the judge made some error. What was it? Normally, in trials in this country, we get jury trial. The law requires jury trial unless the defendant waives his right to jury trial and say, "I want the judge alone to sit on this matter. I waive my right to jury trial." If the defendant does not waive his or her right to jury trial, then there must be trial in the jury. The jury will look at the facts, and the judge will look at the issues of the law. In this Echo Bank case, there was no jury because the defendant said they wanted the judge alone to sit both as judge and jury. So the judge was sitting now as a judge sitting in a trial, looking at facts and looking at the law issues at the same time. When you have jury, the jury will look at the facts, the evidence. The judge will be looking at the law aspect, the legal aspect. In this case, where no jury, now the judge now becomes judge and jury. Now, in a jury trial, when the jury hands down verdict, the judge takes at most 4 days to come down with final ruling. So to say, the jury found Darius Dillon guilty today. Say the jury returned a verdict that found Darius Dillon guilty in a trial today. The judge will receive that verdict from the jury and set a time. But that time will not exceed 5 days. 5 days can exceed that, right? The judge has at least within 5 days to come down with final ruling. The judge can decide that based on his knowledge of the law, his knowledge of the facts presented, if the jury says something that in the judge's wisdom, because he is the man of the law, if in the judge's wisdom and certain knowledge that the jury verdict did not meet the standard of the evidence presented during the trial and what the law says, the judge has the authority to set aside the jury verdict and call for a new trial. Or the judge can say, he go with the jury verdict if they're guilty, and if the person is supposed to go to jail for 10 years in keeping with the sentence, the judge can decide to commute that sentence meaning he can reduce it. Or the judge can say, this crime is so great, and he can even extend the time. Yes, the judge has the authority to do so. In the Austin Clark case, it was only the judge and no jury. Now, there has been no precedent where a judge sitting as jury hand down ruling, verdict and ruling the same day, and thereby no opportunity for the other party to take appeal, to announce appeal that they will go before the Supreme Court. So, in the Austin Clark case, the judge, being the jury and judge the same day, handed down ruling the same day. The Echo Bank people, represented by Vanny Sherman and his law firm, filed an exception to the ruling. They ran upstairs to the justice in chamber. Who was there? Kabineh Ja'neh. Kabineh Ja'neh said, well, this is a case of first instance. It never happened before, where a judge is sitting both as judge and jury and handed down ruling and not having the opportunity of that 5 days span, less than 5 days span, to think how to come down with a subsequent ruling after the jury have handed down the verdict. So this is a case of first instance. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to note it and tell the judge downstairs to hold on with execution of his judgment, his ruling, and I will send the matter to the full bench for all of us to look at it. Because when we decide as a full bench, it becomes precedent in this country. Because the first instance, that's what Kabineh Ja'neh did, in keeping with his judicial function. He noted the matter, told the judge downstairs to hold on because there was an appeal before him, and he took the matter before the full bench, and the matter is still there before the full bench. And that the one, Kenny Wessel, then decided that they come and move Kabineh Ja'neh for. They made the public to believe that Kabineh Ja'neh is so wicked, he the cause Austin Clark died. That Vanny Sherman took appeal against Austin Clark. Kabineh Ja'neh was simply doing his job. So, that was part of the count against Kabineh Ja'neh. When Kabineh Ja'neh lawyers got ready to deal with the Austin Clark case, they said, no, we'll move that one from there, and out there, we'll move it. But it's still on the record. It's part of the counts on the bill of impeachment. They didn't move it. It's part of the record. It's part of their submission. But when they came to ask them question on the Austin Clark case now, so the world can know who killed Austin Clark or who the devil among them, they said, no, move that one from there. You know, we're not part of it. Lord have mercy. So the senators, Senator Kabineh Wissel from Robert G, asked some questions. As for him, he was very pointed. He was very pointed and keen on his question, like all the other senators. I'll go step by step. Senator Kabineh Wissel, sitting as senator and juror, asked, because he wanted to go to the foundation. Throughout the period, the second witness was on the stand, Councilor Representative Kenny Wessel. He kept on saying the House of Legislature. The House of Legislature. There's nothing they call House of Legislature. I'm surprised that a lawyer who is also a lawmaker does not know that we don't have anything they call House of Legislature. We don't even have a national legislature. We have legislature of Liberia. You have national legislature. When in the case where you have state legislatures or county legislature, if you have legislature in each of the counties, if you have local legislature in each of the counties, then the legislature in Monrovia becomes a national legislature. You have only one legislature, that's the legislature of Liberia, and that legislature comprises of 2 houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives. So when a lawyer and a lawmaker, and I can even hear some media people saying the House of Legislature, you're stopping. So today, the guy kept on saying the House of Legislature. So Kabineh Wissel asked him, when you say House of Legislature, what do you mean? Or do you understand what's your interpretation of the legislature? or House of Legislature? Are you talking about the both houses or one house? Then he said, okay, I was talking about the House of Representatives. The Chief Justice had to come and say, okay, so it means all the other time you were saying House of Legislature, you meant House of Representatives, yeah? He said, fine. Okay. So the community wizard said, okay, now that you know that when you're talking about the House of Representatives, then you are talking about one house, one chamber of the legislature. What is the legislature? What constitutes the legislature in your mind as a lawyer and a lawmaker? He said both houses, the House of Senate and the House of Representatives. Very good. So in keeping with Article 43 that you hiding behind, what does Article 43 say about prescribing the procedure for impeachment? What does it say? What word does it use? He said the legislature. So when he said the legislature, what does it mean? He said the House of Representatives and the House of Senate. He said, did we together do a procedure before proceeding with a matter? He said, hey, no rules. They did not. They did not. Because Senator Jonathan Kapie from Grand Bassa County, my own Liberty Party representative, asked some pointed, very relevant questions that practically killed the matter today. Okay, so Senator Jonathan Kapie, as a juror, asked Mr. Winner, he said, hey, he said, what informed your decision or your conclusion that Kabineh Ja'neh bought land from the wrong person or he had Jackson Mali land? How did you know? He said complaint was brought before us. He said, okay. He said when you got the complaint from Akaras Gray and Thomas Fowler, he said, what happened? He said we went to see the 90-year-old woman so to get her side. Very good. Did you go see Kabineh Ja'neh too to get his side? He said, no, the court record that they weren't informed of. But the court record said that Kabineh Ja'neh owned the property. And in keeping with the Constitution of Liberia, the legislature cannot review what the court has decided. If you like it, the way, the law the court rely on to make decisions, if you don't like it, if you made the law, change the law. But you got no right, no authority, no power to review what the judiciary had decided. The authority they had and they used to decide something, if you gave them that authority by enacting law, if you don't like it, change the law so they can't do it again in the future. But when they use the law and make a determination, the legislature cannot review what the judiciary had decided. The judiciary in the lower court said, after reviewing all this case and going through the file, Kabineh Ja'neh owned the property rightfully. Who are you, House of Representatives, to come say the man stay bought property wrongfully? Who are you? Kenny Wessel, I'm sure you're feeling bad at home if you got good conscience. Or at least I know you to be a human being. We'll work together. Work together. I've seen you deal with human beings. Friendly guy, nice. Something about seriously when you join it, you just suspend your conscience. Or something wrong. Kenny Wessel, did you take an oath in a court? Did you take an oath? Because seriously is more like a relation or court. Did you take an oath to act unreasonable, to suspend your conscience? Did you? So, he can answer the questions. Oh, so y'all went to the old lady, right? Fine, okay. Say you wanted to balance your story. Did you go to Kabineh Ja'neh? He said no. Because the people already convicted Kabineh Ja'neh before they even started doing the bill of impeachment. Senator Blebo Brown from Maryland County wanted to know their rules. Their own rules that they did not submit to the Senate for concurrence, or where the Senate had issued for them to constitute a joint committee to settle them, to harmonize the differences so that they can have a prescribed procedure for impeachment purpose. Their own rules that they were hiding, their own rules say, in order to prepare a bill of impeachment, for it to become a bill of impeachment, to forward it to the Senate for trial, simple majority of the membership of the House must vote to agree. Simple majority of the membership. You see, in interpreting law, every word stands on its own and has great meaning and can change an entire situation. When you say simple majority of the membership of the House must agree on something before it passes, it means simple majority of 73 persons. That not simple majority of the number of persons who came to session the day you were voting. Simple majority of 73 persons is between 33, 37. Simple majority of 73 persons is between 33, 37 persons. The day they voted, there were 23 that voted yes. Out of 73, they contravened, they violated, they ignored their own rule to say in order for a bill of impeachment to pass this House, for us to send it to the Senate for trial, simple majority of the membership of the House of Representatives must agree. The day they voted, there were 23 that voted yes. They didn't even meet the threshold of their own rule they set. Yet they said they sent bill of impeachment to the Senate. So the senator wanted to know today, do you have record of the file of the number of persons who attended session that day and those who voted? He said, maybe the document with the chief clerk. Okay, so I hope Kabineh lawyer, in fact, I don't even need to hope again, because Arthur Johnson has demonstrated that there are men in this country with knowledge in their profession. Councillor Arthur Johnson has demonstrated he reduced the entire House of Representatives, as if to say none of his colleagues, from the legal profession, as if to say none of them there, the Fonati Kofa, the Kenny Wessel, and you name them. As if to say none of them in the House. Arthur Johnson just takes the rattle and whips them every day, and open the eyes and the minds of the Liberian people to the reality of this foolishness. So, Kenny Wessel, how many persons voted that day? He said, okay, the chief clerk will know. But bossman, you were the chairman of the ad hoc committee that was constituted for the purpose of you doing what you're doing today. Everything that you say, you know. The age of the fellow, who you all say he was 4 years old in 1996, who was born in 1956. What age? Find the math. He said he can't remember. And Akara Grace said it, he said it on his own. Because the truth is right before them. Where's the record? Where's your own record? How many persons voted? Who all voted? Yes or no? Where's the record? Then Senator Kapi asked, say, okay, you say Kabineh Ja'neh stole your record from the file. Who keeps the record in the House of Representatives? Say that the chief clerk. The chief clerk ever announced to you or reported that records was stolen from the file before? He said, hey, as a chief clerk. But if the chief clerk is the custodian of the records and the documents of the House of Representatives, and you accusing somebody of stealing it, did the custodian of the document complain that records were stolen, missing, the place was burglarized. He said, hey, as a chief clerk. But boss man, you were chairing a committee that accused somebody of stealing. What informed your accusation that somebody stole your record? Everything that I say go out of chief clerk. But you were chairing that committee. You signed it that the man stole record from the House of Representatives to form part of his petition before the Supreme Court against his impeachment. Everything they ask you go out of chief clerk. Everything they ask you go as a chief clerk. Eh? Then another question came. You say Kabineh Ja'neh, the road fund tax case, and it went before him, and he stepped on it. But the man's presiding in chamber. Two businesses, Srimex and Aminata and Sons, filed for a writ of prohibition before the Supreme Court. And at the time they filed it, it could have been any of the justices in chamber. But then it happened to have been Kabineh Ja'neh. They filed for the writ of prohibition against the enforcement of that act, that law. Because in their petition, they said the enforcement of that law will hamper their business. And they wanted the court to look into it. Anybody goes before the court can determine whether the case has merit, and then the justice in chambers can use his discretion to issue the appropriate instruction, the appropriate writ. And when he does that, he's doing so in keeping with his judicial function. In keeping with his judicial function. You cannot remove a judicial official for performing judicial function. So what role Kabineh Ja'neh play in the road fund tax? They say maybe if everything will come and go through there, and the business people that were coming to gain something, that he got in the House of Representatives, Kenny Wessel and Carol Graydon, talking about suspending people or taking envelope. So you won't move a judicial official on suspicion that he will take envelope. So we won't impeach him. This guy in the House of Representatives, have any face to say they charging people for a brown envelope even if it is true? If suspicion of taking brown envelope or that they will take brown envelope, if suspicion can remove people, we will not have legislature. Majority, 80-90% of them will be gone. We will have by-election almost every week, especially from our lower house. That these guys get the gut to say they're removing a judicial official on suspicion, on their feeling that he will take something from the business people. What kind of country is this? Are we serious? And the world is watching. The world is watching. They asked the lawyer, the representative who is a lawyer, at what stage of an impeachment trial does due process come in? He said due process of law can come in on a Senate side, on a House side, we can just do anything. No due process there. Are you kidding? Are we kidding? A lawyer who should be cognizant of a very protecting of Article 20 of the Constitution, especially where it talks about not just constitutional but fundamental rights. A lawyer who is a representative in CDC gown says in a House of Representatives, due process that run their business, they are against us. They are outlawed. They are laws unto themselves. Your rights are not protected there. When it comes to the Senate, the trial, that where due process can start from. That a lawyer was talking today. I almost went to that guy to... Yeah, you know, people were shaking their heads today. So now you think George Weah is a problem? George Weah yet told over Liberia a few days. George Weah yet told over Liberia a few days. To Neumpa will not be too much about George Weah said. George Weah yet told over Liberia a few days. He is his own problem. He is not part of the problem. But George Weah is not Liberia's problem entirely. You want to see good portion of Liberia's governance problem? Go to the legislature. Where men like Kenny Wessel and Akaras Gray them and a whole bunch of them in the House of Representatives who got no small spine for anything serious, no small spine, no God, no courage to stand up. That's what the problem is. Then you are a lawyer, for God's sake. He said due process is not in the house. I see why they just do what they do there and how they do it. They also represented Jamie before. They didn't observe due process. They sent me to jail for 6 months for exposing bribery in the House of Representatives. They called me, let me backtrack a little. They House of Representatives. They wrote me a letter. Dear Mr. Dillon, you are cited to appear before the plenary. They gotta be very explicit. You are cited to appear before the plenary of the Honorable House of Representatives to come tell us what you said on the radio about us. That the letter there, they put a date there. The time for me to appear. I will let radio station from one place to another. You won't tell me which radio station, what specific statement I made that you want. You just say come. Can't tell all the things you talk about on the radio. Which radio station, which date, what particular statement, nothing. And my understanding of the law took me before them. I went there to teach them the law, to dribble them. Because they have contempt power. Once they observe the due process of law doctrine, and they still find you guilty on contempt, when they send you to jail, not even the court can free you. So I went there purposely for them to violate my right, not accord me due process, so I can use that to get myself free through the court. Wisdom, smartness. I went there. I took the oath to say the truth and nothing but the truth. And by the time I finished, the speaker, Eddie Tyler, told the thing you talk about all the radio that day. Oh, excuse me. The Constitution says, if you want to interrogate me, where the sentence will suspend my rights, my liberty, the first thing you do is to read my rights to me. Read my rights to me. Any reading my rights to me, you have to inform me about the charges against me, my right to a lawyer, my right to remain silent. And if you don't accord me that right to remain silent, anything I say there is not admissible in court of law. If you inform me of my right to remain silent and my right to a lawyer, and I still go on to speak, then statements that I made there may be admissible in a court of law, or in a trial, or in a hearing. So I didn't want to give them the edge. So I said, you will read my rights to me. You say, oh, so you know you get rights, eh? The men are working justice ministry, you know you're right. So you know you're right. I said, you will read my rights to me. If you don't read my rights to me, I will choose to remain silent. I will not say a word. Oh, you will remain silent, eh? I tell you, Bobo. You're not talking? What are you talking about on the radio? You know, the men want to, the men working justice ministry, you are working justice ministry, you know the law, you know it right. So let's do the thing we was going to do to him. So it means they already plan to do something to me already, now to send me to jail for 6 months. To shut me up. Cower me into submission. So they say, let's do the thing we started to do the man. So who all in favor here? Again, one, bang, send the man to jail for 6 months. I said, correct, this is what I wanted. So I went to jail. I was in jail for 5 days. Filed a petition before the Supreme Court through Councilor Gu. And the court called hearing in the chamber of the Supreme Court. And they said they granted me rights. Due process. Justice James Eto Howard Wolokoli was presiding. She said, you tell me how you are calling the man due process. Who told the man to tell the man I want to talk? Oh, you read his rights to him? No. You told him or his rights to a lawyer? No. So you're giving sufficient notice to bring a lawyer? No. Okay, so what is due process you are calling him? But the man knows it right. They listen, no. You stop the team. You go free the man. You free the man will order his release. Because of me, the House of Representatives called a special session on a Saturday. To go remove the shame from their own faces. So it can appear that they release me on their own or own compassion. But they were instructed by the Supreme Court that they violated my rights. They did not accord me due process. Then the interesting thing, when I was released, then they wrote me a second letter for me to appear again. And this time, I should come with my lawyer, and they were specific. Then I wrote them a 3-page letter. And taught them about double jeopardy. I'm going to go appear before you so you can do the right thing and send me to jail. When you finish sending me to jail already for the same thing, I can't go to jail 2 times for the same offense. No way. If I appear before them, I will be a fool to suffer lashes. So my knowledge of the law, I wrote them a 3-page document. Since I wrote that House of Representatives, March 3rd, 2008, they never replied me. They were not man enough. The whole House of Representatives, they have never replied that letter. Hi, baby. Yeah, my wife, Jeff from church. They never replied me. I never appeared before. I'm stupid. Double jeopardy, like people know, is for you to suffer 2 times for 1 offense. It's double jeopardy. The law does not allow it. So, in simple way, one man sitting across the road, and he got racked in the hand of gun. He said, you come here to me, I will shoot you. You say, my man, you can't do it. The man said, I want you come here to me, I will shoot you. You play high, you crossing the street to the man fire your leg. You suffer injury. You finish healing, you go heal that leg. You walking straight again. You come to that same place. You see that same man sitting there. The man said, you can't, I will shoot you. You will go there? That's not double jeopardy. You can't on yourself. That means you're stupid. You finish jailing me illegally. I finished suffering illegally for something that I did not do or was not proven against me. The court released me. Then you say, I'm on counsel, you can prove it for you. I showed them what double jeopardy means. Since then, they have never replied to my letter. They never replied to my letter. This is a lawyer, Kenny Wessel, the second witness today, a representative wearing CDC jacket, say due process of law is not in the House of Representatives doing impeachment. Man, Kenny, man. Kenny Wessel will be the first person to cite the due process of law theory from the Wallow versus Wallow case that was handed down by the Supreme Court of Liberia in the 1930s. It is the most famous interpretation of what due process is. Kenny Wessel as a lawyer, they will be the first to cite it when they're in court or running behind their clients. In the House of Representatives, he being a representative and a lawyer at the same time say no due process in the House of Representatives. What an embarrassment and disappointment. T.C. Gu is feeding in his grave right now. That one of his trainees would do that. Hey man, Kenny. Hey Kenny. We get our name, we can call one another 440 vote. So when we get some cases like that, tough. We say, my man, the other tension, the other wire, the current in the one here is hard, the voltage high. Then we say 440. 440 vote. How you did that to us today? You did it to yourself. You did it to yourself. You brought yourself on the stage where the world is watching. You reduce yourself to nothingness today, sir. Amen. I hope you reflect and don't allow yourself to be used any longer. You are a lawyer, you have a professional degree. Without the House of Representatives, you are still considered Kenny Wessel. The Chief Justice was just sitting there over there to the jail looking. Shocked. That was day 8. Arthur Johnson. And the thing I like about Kabineh Ja'neh, he's just so relaxed. He's calm. Because the truth is, not only that the truth is, the facts are that there is no impeachable offense that has been brought against Kabineh Ja'neh. None. None. No impeachable offense has been brought against Kabineh Ja'neh. Without boring you as I'm closing, what constitutes impeachable offense? What? What constitutes impeachable offense? It can be found in Article 71. The Chief Justice and the Associate Justices of the Supreme Court and judges of subordinate courts of record shall hold office doing good behavior. They don't serve at the pleasure of the president or the pleasure of anybody. They serve doing good behavior until they reach the age 70, and then they start to wind down for retirement. When a justice or a judge attains the age 70 and he was handling a matter already, the law allows that he will conclude that matter, and thereafter which he will retire. So you don't retire on the same day that you turn 70. It's likely you can do so on your own. When you reach 70, the same day you can tender your resignation if you so desire. Or if you were not handling any case at all that is pending, then you can retire even on your birthday at the age of 70. But when you reach 70 and above now, and you're not handling any particular case that you have certain knowledge of, the law allows retirement. So they don't serve at anybody's pleasure. The things that keep them on the job is good behavior. That's what Article 71 says. They say they may be removed upon impeachment and conviction by the legislature based on proved misconduct. What has been proven about misconduct conducted on part of Kabineh Ja'neh? What? In his role as Associate Justice? What? Have you seen him drunk somewhere? What a misconduct? Has he caused traffic jam? Has he done something in breach of the peace? Have you seen him taking his clothes in the street? Has he done anything that brings the judiciary into disrepute or undermine the integrity of the judiciary? What? Misconduct. And the Constitution is pointed. It expressly says the misconduct or anything to be brought against a judicial official should have been proven. Proved misconduct. Gross breach of duty. How has Kabineh Ja'neh breached his duty? Grossly. Grossly. You see the qualifying word there? Gross. It must be so serious. The breach of the duty. How has it been done, proven that he grossly breached his duty? Inability to perform the functions of the office. Has Kabineh Ja'neh, has it been proven that he lacks the ability to perform the functions of his office? Kabineh Ja'neh is one of the best on that bench, uncompromising, unbending principles. He rules on the basis of what the law is, not on the basis of who's before him. You don't know Kabineh. Kabineh Ja'neh has his past. Everybody has. Kabineh Ja'neh, them part of the war. We all know that one. It's a record that is clear, open. But he's not on trial on account of the war. Or else some people who even trying him won't be there. If we want to try Kabineh Ja'neh for their past activity as a result of the war, let's do war crimes court. But you have brought no impeachable offense against this man. You only dislike him because you don't want anybody on the bench in the judiciary who can look you in the eye and say, this one is wrong because the law says it's wrong. You don't want it. You want election matters to go before the court and it goes away. You want boyfriend and girlfriend court case to go. You want when somebody having issue before the judge, you can call that judge and say, release that man to me. Because if you don't release him, the same thing that happened to Kabineh Ja'neh will happen to you. That's the kind of judiciary you want. And let me conclude on Article 71. It says, all conviction in a court of law for treason, bribery, or other infamous crimes. Have you convicted Kabineh Ja'neh of treason in a court of law, in Liberia, or anywhere? You see, they say the person must have been convicted in a court of law. A court of law. A court of law could be a court of law in Liberia or any other place where a court of law has handed down such conviction. Where is it? So what informed your impeachment charges? All these things laid down in the Constitution that are the premise for impeachment. None has been committed by Kabineh Ja'neh. Has Kabineh Ja'neh been tried and convicted of bribery? No. You won't move Kabineh Ja'neh because you suspect that he will take bribe. Then you who even brought the charges against him, none of you should be in the house. None of you on suspicion of taking envelope, none of you belong in the house. Those are you who brought the charges against Kabineh Ja'neh. Because you are the worst group of people. You take almost anything. It's a shame. You go to the legislature, lawmakers cite government officials, even assistant ministers. They come downstairs to escort it. Wow. They come downstairs to escort the minister. They want favors. They want part of the minister's budget. They want to say they're suspecting Kabineh Ja'neh that he will take bribe. So they won't move him. These ones. Article 73 says, no judicial official shall be summoned, arrested, detained, prosecuted, or tried civilly or criminally by or at the instance of any person or authority on account of judicial opinions rendered or expressed. You won't move Kabineh Ja'neh because he expressed a judicial opinion. In keeping with Article 43, we get right, we get the authority to impeach. That's true. The way you respect Article 43 of this Constitution, why you can respect Article 73 of the Constitution, that no judicial official shall be summoned, arrested, detained, prosecuted, or tried civilly or criminally by or at the instance of any person or authority. Any person means whether that the president, whether that the chief justice, whether that the speaker, or any person or authority. In this case, the authority is a House of Representatives. No judicial official shall be tried criminally or civilly by any authority like the House of Representatives or the Senate on account of judicial opinions rendered or expressed. That's what the Constitution is saying. Judicial statements made and judicial acts done in the course of a trial, in open court, or in chambers. When Kabineh Ja'neh took some action, he was in chambers. They were judicial actions. And you trying him? What wrong with y'all? And you trying him? And you say you like the Constitution? Article 43. Article 43. Our authority can write Article 43. Article 73 lost from your part of the Constitution. You say, except for treason, Kabineh Ja'neh had never been accused of or convicted of treason or other felonies. He's never been accused of or convicted of any felony, misdemeanor, or breach of the peace, none of which he has been accused of and convicted of. None. Now, here's the interesting part. It says, statements made and acts done by such officials in the course of judicial proceeding shall be privileged and subject to the above qualification. No such statements made or acts done shall be admissible into evidence against them at any trial or proceeding. That is it gone, as usual. LG go, I want my LG. My LG go. Let me see if I can put my leg on to conclude this podcast as I was winding down. Hey, you see what I'm having LRB, eh? We get money with this until we close, right? Yeah. So, that's what the law says. You cannot try a judicial official for performing judicial function. Okay. Yeah, but I was something and I was winding down. A Senator Jonathan Kapieh, asked Representative Kenny Wessel, a lawyer, the second witness today. He said, are you cognizant of Article 42 of the Constitution? He said, fine. What does it say? It says, lawmakers are immune. They are privileged from arrest, from being summoned, from being tried, for statements made in chambers, for votes cast, for actions taken in line with their duty as lawmakers. They have that constitutional protection and privilege. So Senator Kapieh asked, are you aware that Article 73 grants the judicial people the same privilege? He can answer. He can answer. This is the kind of trial that we're having in this country against a judicial official. And people say, let a man just move on there. No, he will not just move on there. The senators will use their consciences individually to say, in spite of all of these things we have heard, we vote to move Kabineh Ja'neh. Let the senators put themselves on that record so posterity can judge them. That having heard all of these facts, seeing all of these truths, will still go vote to say, notwithstanding, we still vote to move you. Let the senators place that thing on their hands and on posterity on the record. I won't see it. But I remain confident and hopeful that there are men and one woman in the Liberian Senate who will not allow their history to be written. That one day, once upon a time in the history of Liberia, when Oscar Cooper was senator, when Yomli Kanga Lawrence was senator, and when she was political leader of Liberty Party, carrying themselves all over as a party that respects the law. That when Steve Zago was senator and chairman of Liberty Party, Jonathan Kapie, Komine Wisse, Daniel Nathan, Henry Togba, and Ahmad Jala, and you name them, Brebo Brown, say one time they were senators in the legislature, and they lied on an associate justice. There were no impeachable offense issue brought against him, but they were in the Senate, and they agreed for that man to be impeached. And since his impeachment, the judiciary has practically crumbled. I want to see them make that record. But I believe, with strong conviction, that we'll have men and one woman of courage in our legislature that will save the day. Not for Kabineh Ja'neh, but for our democracy and the true independence of the judiciary of our country. I believe so strongly. And it is because of that that I can remain confident. I take pride in the fact that Kabineh Ja'neh has not been accused of any impeachable offense. This thing is about political witch hunt, and it should stop. And it is on that note, I want to leave you with my music that I started off with. And Liberia is looking for one day when our star will shine. That lone star that is in that deep dark blue field on our flag. That star that wants to shine, but our own actions and inactions blocking the star from shining. That one day the star will shine for this country and our people. If I were in our Senate, Kabineh Ja'neh would already be assured of one vote. Not because he needs Kabineh Ja'neh, but because there's no issue against him. It's just a greed to satisfy the political ego, power, greed of certain people to control the entire government. But I'm not there, but there are some men and a woman there who will save the day. It's on that note.
Come on.
I call it good night.
Come on, my shining star.
And may God bless our country.
Come on.
Bye-bye.
Come on, my shining star. I'll keep on trying.